The fact that many do not believe that Bitcoin is overpriced in comparison to XRP is completely absurd, in my opinion. In this context, if you were to forecast that XRP will reach a certain price, we may say $10, $15, or even $20. Everyone believes you are insane. However, when we look at Bitcoin, you suddenly become a genius if you say, oh yeah, Bitcoin is going to $500,000 or $1 million. And the fact that Bitcoin is currently worth around $2 trillion, $1.87 trillion, and $1.97 trillion at its completely diluted value intrigues me much. Additionally, many believe that the market capitalization of Bitcoin will surpass $10 trillion. However, when we consider XRP, its present value is approximately $123 billion, with a completely diluted value of $210 billion. Now, people would think you're completely insane if I predicted that XRP would be worth $1 trillion. No way. XRP has no intrinsic value. It is centralized. It's that and this. However, there is no justification for Bitcoin to reach these absurd prices. And I'm shocked by this because I don't understand the difference. Apart from the fact that XRP is 1,000 times more useful than Bitcoin, I don't get why it's so difficult to imagine XRP reaching such levels in the future. I mean, if I were to observe this area from the outside right now, I could plainly see that it is becoming more legitimate. It is shifting toward value based on utility. Unfortunately, I do not believe that Bitcoin will experience the same type of market fluctuations that it has been experiencing on a cycle-by-cycle basis in a utility-based market. At that point, we begin to examine the distracting issues. Apart from, meme currencies and other stuff that just go completely crazy for no reason. I believe that Bitcoin is one of the biggest diversions in this field. One of the main things that diverts attention from the most worthwhile ventures in this field, in my opinion, is Bitcoin. And what's hilarious, this marketing strategy is continuously used in the industry. Not very long ago, on May 2nd, Kevin O'Leary was discussing Bitcoin. In fact, CoinDesk has this: Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that billions of people would trust, he added. Ethereum won't be the cryptocurrency of choice for the billions of people who are waiting to invest. It will be the actual Bitcoin. Take a look. However, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best option if you want to be exposed to cryptocurrency volatility. ETH isn't the preferred option until you begin to see its value, so it's kind of, but not. You then begin to wonder, why am I only in ETH? How come I'm not in level 2? Why am I only doing ETH, I wonder? Therefore, I don't think it will be for the billions of people who are eager to invest in cryptocurrency. It will be the actual Bitcoin. And to be honest, many people claim that they don't require anything more. All I need is exposure to the volatility of cryptocurrencies. They haven't been mistaken. Therefore, I'll just purchase Bitcoin. Naturally, you are aware of the Bitcoin hype mill. This is something that I have discussed numerous times. It's funny, The SEC just released a significant update, which was the schedule for the discussion on the tokenization of RWAs on May 12th. The panelists from BlackRock, Fidelity, NASDAQ, Franklin Templeton, and Robinhood were visible. It is possible to argue that this is the Wall Street giants. Wall Street has arrived. They are paying close attention to tokenization. Alright, so the figures behind this are what really catch my attention. First, let's take a closer look at the capital. As a result, Dom from the EZA app posted that there were more than $20 trillion. That is the amount of money that might enter the cryptocurrency market. The participants of the upcoming Crypto Roundtable, which will focus on tokenization and moving assets on-chain, were just announced by SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. This is where DeFi and TradFi collide. The largest players in TradFi will also be present to talk about putting their assets on the chain. This is Robert Mishnick, who leads BlackRock's Digital Assets Division, which manages $11.6 trillion in assets. Cynthia Lowe Bassett, who oversees Fidelity's $4.9 trillion in assets under management, is also here. Sandy Cole, SVP $1.5 trillion assets are managed by Franklin Templeton. Christine Moy, Apollo's partner, is in charge of $512 billion in assets. Given these figures, It's absurd to believe that the current value of the entire space is approximately $3 trillion. And not even $1 trillion of that is worth XRP. Consider that. In my opinion, XRP is still incredibly cheap. I've discussed this a number of times and will keep doing so. Many will now argue that XRP is overpriced. If XRP is overpriced, then Bitcoin is also incredibly overpriced. The facts are what they are. The entire store value story doesn't interest me. The restricted quantity doesn't matter to me. Bitcoin is overpriced if XRP is. It's that easy. When we consider that now, don't we? In my opinion, this market is incredibly undervalued in comparison to what is available for certain asset classes. We are aware that some of these networks, such as XRP, will be accessed in relation to tokenization activities. I am frequently asked how the value of the underlying asset will be impacted by tokenized value. Well, the network is impacted. That's the problem. A network effect is at play. Isn't it similar to stablecoins? Take a look at Tether's contributions to Bitcoin. Since the entire addressable market here is not, say, $200 billion or $1 trillion, consider that on a scale of 10, 20, 40, 40, 50, or 100x. This represents tens of trillions, and tokenization is starting to take shape. The largest participants in the market, Wall Street, are swarming in. Now, the SEC has given us the complete breakdown. That meeting is this one. And all of the names are visible here. The agenda itself is visible. Thus, introductory and welcoming words: Wall Street, Capital Markets 2.0, the evolution of finance, and the future of tokenization itself. It's incredible to see what's happening when we consider these conversations that are taking place. This area is evolving. It is developing into something truly unique. That unique feature is a utility-based market in which value is anchored in actual worth, specifically real-world value, rather than in rumors and hype. Franklin Templeton is one of the players from this task force that has been vociferous, right? Under management are assets worth $1.5 trillion. Digital Asset Investor uploaded this. Take a look. It is May 5th. Greg Scanlon, played by Franklin Templeton. It lacks a layer 1 that can sustain a large-scale ecology. The regulatory monopoly on Bitcoin is ending. It will have to compete on an even playing field for the first time ever. The adults are making an effort to explain it politely. Add it to the ledger for XRP. The issue has been resolved. Take a look at this. What happens to Bitcoin as an asset in this day and age? Bitcoin now accounts for 60% of the value of all cryptocurrencies. So what happens when asset tokenization occurs on a wide scale in this day and age? How does Bitcoin fit into that universe? It's an excellent query. Additionally, I agree with your assertion that institutions are departing from the proof of concepts age, which I believe predominated from 2016 to 2019. We have advanced to the point where commercial-grade goods are now available, and Bitcoin is also advancing in this direction as collateral. Therefore, one of our internal opinions is that Bitcoin has emerged as the cryptocurrency's initial product-market fit, serving as a substitute for fiat money stores. This is beyond question, isn't it? It has the highest market value. It has the world's best branding.